on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
The kennel may look serene outside, but it is wild inside as the number one team in the country, Gonzaga, off to an 8-0 start, including a win over Duke, welcomes intrastate rival Washington. The Huskies have not won in Spokane since 1944, and they have never defeated a number one team on the road. And hi, everybody, Dave Pasch alongside Hall of Famer Bill Walton. Can't think of a better way to start another year with you, Bill, than in a hostile environment like this.
Wow, what a scene, what a day. The Inland Northwest and the number one team in all of the land, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And yes, their local kennel mates are fired up today. This is like being in the front row of a Grateful Dead concert, and we are ready to go, hostile or not. What was your name again?
It's not Jason. Rui Hachimura, who was fantastic when you were with Jason Benetti in Maui.
Who? He told me his name was Justin.
He had 22 points and 11 rebounds in Gonzaga's last game. He has become not just a West Coast Conference Player of the Year candidate, but a National Player of the Year candidate. One of the most improved players in the country.
Not a factor the last couple years. He's a junior here now. The greatest Japanese basketball player ever. The second greatest player from Asia ever, following Yao Ming. But it's the Huskies, woof, woof, who have controlled the opening tip. How many years since they've won here?
74.
That's older than I am. That's geologic time. That's dinosaur time.
Amir Wright way off with the game's first shot. Washington 6-2. Their two losses came against Minnesota and Auburn.
And they're going to play zone defense all the time. This is Mike Hopkins. He's a guy who grew up in Southern California, family roots still there, but he spent most of his life as an adult in Syracuse with Boeheim. Oh my gosh. And with Thibault out in front there, good things are going to happen defensively for the Huskies. Woof, woof, sending them back.
They get a lot of deflections. The shot clock at 8. There's Mark Few in his 20th season. Led the team to the Sweet 16 for the 4th straight year. Last year, the only team in college basketball to make it that far. 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments. 3 ball off the mark from Kispert. And here comes Washington, and they give it right back. Clark
down,
Hachimura, and it's blocked by Dickerson.
Norvell, who had the huge second half at Creighton in the last outing for the Zags.
Clark can't finish right at the rim.
Noah Dickerson, just a towering presence inside. One of 3 real stars on this Washington Husky squad. 3 guys are on the top watch list for 5 of the national awards. Norvell's one of them, Thibault's one of them, and Noah Dickerson is the other one as the Huskies get on the board first here at McCarthy. What a scene, what an atmosphere, what a day. In the home of John Stockton, in the home of Neil Everett. Wow, is there real estate available here?
Jalen Noel with the basket. He was the runner-up for Pac-12 Freshman of the Year last year behind DeAndre Ayton, the number 1 pick in the draft. As the bucket goes, putting it in is Brandon Clark, who's been phenomenal this year.
Brandon Clark is just a physical stud who's got a real game. And when I was in Maui, to watch him fight for that ball, it's what you dream about as a basketball player, as a fan, as an alum. Get him the ball down low, please. He's wide open.
No, he actually wasn't, but Thibault misses a shot, rebounded inside by Kispert, but a Gonzaga foul, the first on the Zags.
Will you please clean your glasses? He was as open as he can get.
Mike Hopkins, Pac-12 Coach of the Year last year. 2 years ago, Washington won 9 games, 2 in conference. Hopkins takes the job. They win 21 games, and they win 10 in Pac-12 play.
An outstanding coach, a visionary. His background comes from the Southern California world of John Wooden and Chick Hearn and all the Lakers and Gary McKnight. It's modern day in Santa Ana.
Chick Hearn, he's a broadcaster. What did he teach Hopkins? Nice play inside by David Crisp, getting into the lane and putting it in.
You have clearly lost your mind, but that is not a news break.
Well, this is our 7th year together. Hachimura has it stripped momentarily by Thibault, and he can't get in foul trouble. He's such a good defender. They need him at the top of the zone.
Has it only been 7 years?
They're actually going to get Crisp for the foul. That's the first on Crisp.
So Gonzaga has a very deep front line. The loss of Killian Tilly, critical in the big picture. His stress fracture in his tibia, of grave concern. But bigger in the short term for Gonzaga is their lack of depth in the backcourt.
Kispert, no, rebounded by Thibault.
Push the ball, Matisse. Come on, paint a picture tonight. Let's go.
Gonzaga expects to get Tilly back by the start of conference play. Dickerson in the paint.
You know, it's really easy for you to sit here. How many stress fractures have you had?
Well, I'm just repeating what the school told me.
How many operations have they done on you to put pins in your leg to hold it together?
It's coming from the Gonzaga doctors. That's what they're anticipating, that he'll be back by the beginning of 2019.
He'll be better when he's better. That guy's a great player and a ton of fun to watch. Don't rush back, Killian. It's your health, it's your life. You're just a young man. You're a junior in college.
They also have Gino Crandall, who's out with a broken hand, but he's expected back early January as well. Hachimura fouled on the putback attempt, and he'll go to the line.
How many broken hands have you had?
Noah Dickerson picked up the foul. His first, actually one, punching a wall after my first game with you.
I wish I had been there to encourage more.
So here is Rui Hachimura, junior. You talked about him and his roots. He's from Toyama, Japan, the 5th Japanese-born men's Division I college basketball player ever.
And an incredible media sensation in the land of the sun over there, Japan. And with the Tokyo Olympics coming up there, they're hoping to qualify for basketball. I don't know. They're not a big player on the international stage for basketball. But this guy, he can do for Japan what Yao Ming did for China.
First points of the game for Hachimura.
If you're Mark Few, get this press going. Get this game going up and down. Their outside shots for the Zags not falling. The tempo has to be controlled by Mike Hopkins. They don't score enough points to play with Gonzaga on the course of a full game. Beautiful defense there.
And a foul on Crisp at midcourt, and that's the kind of turnover that Mike Hopkins told us today you can't have, those live ball turnovers where Gonzaga can get out and run. Now, Crisp did commit the foul, but that's his second, and he's going to have to come out of the game.
As Mike Hopkins tries to create, build, and develop this evolving identity, style, and culture that he has, building from the ground up. You know, there were some players that stayed, and Lorenzo Romar did an outstanding job for a lot of years, but it had dropped off in terms of the enthusiasm, in terms of the passion. There's no drop off here with these folks. These folks are fired up. Look at Josh Perkins. What a defensive anticipation.
Here's Thibault from outside. He shot it really well from last year. He's a career 37% three-point shooter, but has struggled to put it in the basket from the perimeter so far this season. Just 24% of the year.
But they're winning ball games, please. Only lost twice, once to Minnesota, a good team up in Vancouver in a holiday tournament, and then they lost down at Auburn. Oh my gosh. That Auburn really good. Game, Auburn's great. Auburn may not lose any games at home. That game was so incredible in Auburn that they set the Washington bus on fire as it left town. We'll show you Yankees what to do.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports, and Audi.
About time you take some spiritual advice. That first shot, game tied at 4, Washington and Gonzaga early on here at the Kennel.
Please pray for my salvation. Mike Roth, yes, 22 years, the athletic director. He and Mark Few sort of came up together, and what an incredible job he's done spearheading this magnificent building, the new Volker practice facility and academic center right next door. And this campus has just become one of those very special places. And with Mark Few, the native of Cresswell, Oregon, the town when he grew up there of 1,500 people. Wow, up near the headwaters of the Willamette River, south of Eugene.
He said, by the way, that's an old picture of you. He actually said, Mark Few, you guys have a lot in common, even though you wouldn't know it by looking and studying Few's background. But he says you guys both love the outdoors, and he actually knows more about the Grateful Dead than you do. That's what Mark told me today.
Okay.
The challenge is on.
I'm the deadhead. We're closing in on 1,000 here for me, and they just got the new tour coming. We'll be up here at the Gorge this summer.
Wright puts it on the floor.
Offensive foul. Send him the other way. Great defense that time. Norvell. Chicago, South Side, Simeon High School.
First foul on Hamir Wright. Outside the restricted area and set. You were watching that, right?
Absolutely.
You thought it was a good call?
I don't like it when guys fall down playing defense.
Well,
Get in the air and make a play on the ball.
Here's Clark.
Let it
zone.
fly, Corey.
And Hachimura off the window with the left hand.
Pump fake the jumper. He can make that. He's a brilliant outside shooter. Corey Kispert is. And then when that zone leans in on that pump fake, you drop the pass beautifully into an overpowering Rui Hachimura.
Gonzaga top 5 in the country in assists, number 1 in shooting, number 2 in scoring. That game against Duke was one of the best college basketball games we've seen in the regular season in some time. Certainly the best of the year, as the 3 goes for Dominic Green, who's an elite shooter, 40% this season from behind the arc.
That game, Duke and Gonzaga. I'm sure I heard Jake Bilas cry during that game.
Why?
The pump fake setting up the duck-in by Rui Hachimura. They practiced this all day here at the McCarthy. Washington, they do not do shoot-arounds. That's a carryover from
Jim
Syracuse days.
Yep. Jim Bam has never had a shoot-around as a head coach at Syracuse in 40 years. What a
Never
play.
in 40 years?
Green with a swat. They do it like the NBA, which I like. Here's Green again, this time way off on the 3. And Hachimura with the clear.
Well, first of all, they're not shoot-arounds anymore. That has changed. It's a talk-around. It's a listen-around. Beautiful stroke.
And Perkins
Beautiful
thrills it.
stroke.
Josh Perkins, who had a 13-assist game. Last time out with just 1 turnover in an impressive win at Creighton.
Josh Perkins, the senior, 5th-year senior here from Park Hill, a neighborhood in the northeast side of Denver. Same place that Chauncey Billups comes from. That's the best play of the game offensively.
And they're friends, by the way, Chauncey Billups and Josh Perkins.
Chauncey's a mentor.
Yep.
He's significantly older than Josh Perkins is. Don Cheadle's from there as well. Plus some of the guys from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hachimura
Beautiful.
shows the strength, Bill. He's added 15 pounds of muscle.
Strength, power, and finesse. That rare combination. Sam Timmons, 33 for the Huskies. I mean, Rui is 6'8", 6'9". He looks like a little child compared to this towering pillar of strength, Sam Timmons. But Rui just made him look like a statue, frozen in time, petrified.
Another turnover by Washington. So despite the giveaways, Mike Hopkins' team hanging around, down only 2. He was at Syracuse as an assistant for 22 years, was a player at Syracuse,
Right.
and had opportunities to take other head coaching jobs. He was the coach in waiting, but as time went on, Jim Boeheim, it looked like he was going to keep going, so Hopkins took an opportunity not just to come back west, but to come to a place where his parents grew up in Seattle. His dad, who's battling dementia, went to Washington, and now has an opportunity to see Mike Hopkins coach.
Yeah, it's sad with Mike Hopkins' dad, William. They now live down in the Laguna Beach, Laguna Hills area. And when your dad gets sick and his body starts failing him, it's very, very tough. And Syracuse, a long way from Laguna. So he came back west here, and now he's able to get down there whenever he possibly can to see him.
Sam Timmons pick up the foul, his first foul.
Do you have parents?
Yes, that's how I got here.
Rui's left hand,
So
just
good.
superb.
Can use both hands.
When you watch him play in a game like this, you can't tell if he's right or left-handed until he goes to the free throw line. Now, why is Sam Timmons handling the ball 35 feet from the hoop?
He's not. He was just catching it and passing it, but most teams do that. Here's a drive by Noel, but he can't finish, and Hachimura with the clear.
Oh, a lot of people smoke cigarettes, too.
Here's Perkins, another 3 from straight on. Not this time.
Look at Rui climbing that ladder. Noah Dickerson's got to come alive here. I mean, the Huskies, they're not playing that well at either end of the court, and they're only down 4. Couple baskets, they gain control. I'd go back to...
Oh, man, another bad pass there. Skip pass to...
I'd go back to Jalen Novell. Come on. He made the great shot.
Noel?
Okay, so we got a Noel.
Norvell, that's a different team.
Norvell.
Yeah, Norvell's on Gonzaga.
Okay.
Noel is on Washington.
Keep this straight, okay?
You're in mid-season form,
I
Bill.
can't. Highlight of the season so far was in the early preseason exhibition game. Washington went down to Nevada. Nevada, a top 10 team in the country this year. Musselman there. And they spanked them, ran them out of their own building down there. And that was without Noah Dickerson, who hurt his leg, his knee, just before that game was played.
And as you look at West Coast basketball right now, which the Pac-12 is struggling, only one ranked team, that's Arizona State. As the three goes for Norvell, Gonzaga and Nevada are both in the top 10. So right now those are the two best teams on the West Coast.
UCLA has tremendous talent. When they get it going, they're going to be a factor.
And
Arizona is having trouble. Bad news out of Eugene today. And the Conference of Champions looking in the mirror right now. Because the #1 team in the country is right here in Spokane. Children of the sun, the Spokane River, in the shadow of Mount Spokane. John Stockton, Neil Everett, Bing Crosby, and Mark Few.
Well, here is how Gonzaga became the #1 team in the country for the third time in school history. It was their win over Duke. Brandon Clark on both ends of the floor. The putback there. Hachimura had some big plays down the stretch, and then the block by Brandon Clark at the end to give Gonzaga the win over the Blue Devils.
I love flashbacks, and I was there. It was one of the most remarkable experiences I've ever had in my life. At the end of the game, everybody was crying. Jake and all the Duke fans were crying because they thought they had the greatest team ever. And the people from Gonzaga they were crying just tears of joy and pride, and this carried over here tonight. And the top 10 here, Gonzaga atop the land. Kansas is excellent. They have completely reloaded. Duke is phenomenal. I always expect them to win every game. Tony Bennett's, they've recovered from last year's debacle to Maryland, Baltimore County. Michigan, John Beilein, what a coach, what a team, what a program they've got.
And Tennessee's very good. Gonzaga will actually play Tennessee up next as Dickerson misses. That game is on Sunday in Phoenix. Speaking, let's go back to Duke, because you saw him several times there in Maui.
They're excellent.
Of the freshmen, who's the best? Is it Barrett, is it Reddish, or is it Zion Williamson?
They're a team. People help their team win. You're one of those guys that lives in that qualitative binary decision-making world. That you got to rank and rate and compare everything. They all have the same goal, and they got a fantastic coach.
All right, I'll give you my opinion, and since you won't do it. RJ Barrett.
So you're the one that earned Markelle Fultz the #1 draft choice in the NBA 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't me.
Yes, you did. He should pay you millions of dollars.
It was Brian Colangelo. He picked Markelle Fultz #1 when he was the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers.
So well. Danny Ainge, brilliant.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Washington ball. RJ Barrett had 27 points and 15 rebounds tonight for Duke. And I know Zion Williamson.
Who'd they play?
They played Hartford. Zion Williamson, look, the guy's phenomenal in terms of, we just haven't seen many guys built like him do what he can do. But RJ Barrett is the best player in college basketball.
Steve Nash is his godfather. That's all you need to know. And it's a fantastic situation for RJ. I got to meet both of those guys. I did not get to meet the third guy. What's the third guy's name again?
Cam Reddish?
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him.
Mistake there by Gonzaga as Jeremy Jones lost the ball and it went out of bounds.
They're ahead.
You didn't just see what happened, did you? You were looking down at your notes.
No, I was looking at the score. Because I'm staggered in that Washington has 9 points with 10 minutes played in the game.
And they're only down 7. But this is the type of game that they need to be in. They can't get out and give up 100 points.
I understand that, but they got to make some shots.
Offensive rebound by Dickerson. Goes back up and has it rejected. Petrusev and Dickerson finally fouled as he continues to work the glass.
That's Noah Dickerson's game. He can also play at the high post. And this guy has just worked so hard, Noah Dickerson, the senior from Atlanta, coming back showing no signs of the knee injury suffered in practice just a couple days before the Nevada scrimmage. First team All Pac-12 last year. But when they have a a first-team all-conference that has more than 5 players on it? I mean, basketball teams have 5 players on it. I just don't understand that.
That was on Petrusev.
That's almost like the Big 12 having 10 teams and the Big 10 having 14 teams. Please explain this to me.
You just did.
Now, you went to college with Mike Hopkins.
Yes, he was a couple years older than me, but we were there at the same time.
He told me you were an excellent student, and you were a choir boy and an altar boy, and Boy Scout, member of the ROTC.
You clearly didn't talk to Mike Hopkins. Here's Hachimura with the turnaround jumper is good. We saw him inside earlier, and now from about 12 feet out.
The decision-making, the growth, the development of this guy. Tommy Lloyd, the incredible assistant coach here to Mark Few, he found Rui by watching the internet of a tournament for players in Asia over in Dubai. Deliver that ball.
Oh, Dickerson missing inside, and Noel soars to the rim and gets it to drop. But to your point about when they were looking at Hachimura, they actually were looking at other players, and they said, man, who's this guy?
That's how they found Luke Longley to end up at New Mexico. We'll be there next week.
I won't. Norvell deep three, and can't get it to fall.
Where are you going to be?
I'm not going to be there. I'm not sure who you're doing the game with.
What's your name again?
Roxy.
Roxy told me he was doing the game.
Well, there you go. Then why did you ask me?
Well, your name is Roxy.
Green. No good on the three. Rebounded by Jeremy Jones.
When was the last time Washington made an outside shot?
Well, it was about 4 minutes ago when Dominic Green hit a three.
Okay.
Norvell attacks, leaves it, and an offensive. No, they're going to say a block on Dickerson. He wasn't in position. That's 2 fouls on Dickerson, 17 foul. And Gonzaga's in the bonus. It'll be a 1-and-1.
The penetration, the zone defense responds. He's just running underneath them.
And as you said, I'm with you. I don't like that call where you call a charge on a pass like that. Where
how many fouls on Dickerson?
You didn't listen. I said 2. He's on the bench now with 2.
Trying to figure out what the game is.
Norvell at the line. It's basketball. 81% free throw shooter.
He was ice cold in the opening against Creighton, 26 or 20-something in the second half out of his game high 28.
84th annual Heisman Trophy ceremony, New York City, Saturday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Will it be Tua Tagovailoa, the Alabama quarterback, Kyler Murray, the Oklahoma quarterback, or will it be Dwayne Haskins of Ohio State? If Kyler Murray wins, it'll be the 2nd consecutive Oklahoma quarterback to win the Heisman. Baker Mayfield, as you know, won it last year. Who you picking? You going with Tua, Kyler Murray?
I have no idea. I'm in Gonzaga. I'm in the kennel. Woof, woof.
All right,
I'm looking for Spike.
I'll tell you who's going to win.
I had the time. How do you know who's going to win?
But it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to win.
Well, when was the last time Alabama lost?
They haven't lost this year.
Okay. And is Clemson still in there?
Yes, they're in the college football playoff.
And who else is in there?
Clemson will play Notre Dame on ESPN, and it will be Oklahoma against Alabama on ESPN.
Okay.
On the 29th of December.
Now I'll follow those games. Way to go.
Great
play. Defense. Wow.
And then contact underneath, away from the ball, and a foul is called on Hamir Wright. His 2nd foul, 8th team foul.
Hamir Wright, a real promising player. New York State High School Player of the Year from Albany. How many times does that happen? Again, players just falling down.
So Brandon Clark at the free throw line. This is the one area of his game that has not been up to par. 59% free throw shooter when he gets the first one.
I had to take my headset off in Maui because of Jake crying all the time with Duke losing. But this guy underneath the basket where I was sitting and watching the end of that game, and the muscles that this guy was he was ripping that ball away from Zion Williamson, who was outstanding, and those Duke guys who were always in phenomenal shape. And this guy was the superior athlete in that game. The challenge for Gonzaga is to keep that going and to keep playing to win as opposed to playing not to lose. Takes talent to get to the top, takes character to stay there. Traveling violation. A lot of calls going against the Huskies right now.
Well, to your point about Gonzaga, you look at the schedule they've played so far. Arizona, Duke, at Creighton, Illinois, Texas A&M. They've got Tennessee Sunday. They're at North Carolina on December 15th. And then they get in conference play. And look, the WCC always has good teams in that league. And
WCC is an outstanding conference. They got a lot of teams playing well right now, including USF.
Yeah, San Francisco's been good. You just saw Loyola Marymount the other night.
They got pounded by UCLA.
Hachimura misses, but he was fouled by Wright. That's 3 on Hamir Wright.
But the story at LMU, the story of the WCC, their new conference commissioner, Gloria Navarez, she is absolutely spectacular, and the whole conference across all sports is coming to the top.
Well, it's back. Walton's World, the first of many. Don't hurt yourself. We needed a shovel to pick you up. What are you doing to...
I'm riding the merry-go-round. I'm trying to catch the #1 team. Gonzaga, we're warming up. Exercises, yeah.
Child
fitness.
of the sun?
Child of the sun.
Nice to see you. It's been too long. How have you been? You okay? You're #1. Going on the gondola here. Come on, Spike, let's go. Look at the rainbow, Spike. You know what a rainbow is? Rainbow is my favorite flavor. Yes, and my favorite color, too. We need to go on a ride. We need to go find ourselves, come back together. So, the Louvre Carousel, 1909. Come on. Yes!
Did your doctor who did your spine surgery give you clearance to go down the slide? Because if you go down, Spike can't get you back up.
What a fantastic day at the Riverfront Park. And that carousel, 1909, the Louvre Carousel, in the 1950s, Walt Disney came here and tried to buy that carousel for Disneyland that he was building down in Anaheim, and the city of Spokane turned him down. Thank you, Walt Disney, for all of our lives.
First trip to Spokane for you since when?
I was here 20 years ago with Jim Marsh and the Jammin' Hoops camps. And we went to Jack and Dan's at the end of a very long day. The Jammin' Hoops camp, one of the greatest things ever. I came here 44, 45 years ago when I first moved to the Northwest here to be a part of the Portland Trail Blazers.
So your last time here was when this Gonzaga program was just getting going. It was the final year of Dan Monson and the beginning of Mark Few as the head coach.
And the beginning of Mike Roth.
24-12 Gonzaga.
So John Stockton, I got to go by John Stockton's childhood home today. I wanted to get some dirt to go along with the Larry Bird dirt, the Mike D'Antoni dirt, the Pat Kilkenny dirt, but there was no dirt. It was all lawn.
Where do you put the dirt as it's touched last by
I rub it all over myself. I rub some of the Temecula dirt on you to try to break the curse on you. There's John Stockton, who grew up here, who went to college here. His dad went to college here. Clementine, his mom, Jack and Clementine were married for 50 years. They're both passed now. Oh, my God.
His son David played at Gonzaga. John, the all-time leader in the NBA in assists and steals. You ever think we'll see those records broken?
No. The staggering distance between where John finished up and where the next guys are, and all the guys who were close to him, they've already retired.
Yeah.
You know, when we did the game with LeBron, was that?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, we tried to figure out. I think LeBron would have had to play another 280 years or something to catch John in assists.
Here's Thibault driving the lane, goes to the left. Beautiful finish and a foul.
Okay, so we've had 2 good plays tonight by the Huskies. That one by Matisse, and then Noel. But a right-handed player wrong foots him. Extension over the top. That wrong-footed move frees the defense down there. You know, I was around town today, and I got to go to Neil Young's high school. Neil Everett's high school, sorry. But Lewis and Clark High School. What a beautiful place. And I got to talk to one of Neil's classmates, running mates here, Matt Manning.
Thibault knocks it out of bounds, going to stay with Gonzaga.
You had buildings. Where was it?
24-15, Gonzaga in front.
You're ignoring
by
me.
9 with 6:51 remaining in the first half.
Have you been to the new U Zone here in Spokane? Or the other colleges, Washington State, Eastern Washington, some with UW here at the Medical Center. It's just fantastic what they've done there.
Shot clock at 5. Perkins driving, kicks it out. Excellent ball movement. Kispert beats the shot clock with a 3.
Wow. Spectacular ball movement. And one of the great things about Gonzaga is that they play a complete game. They can play defense, they can play offense. I'm not sure they're as big as some of the power teams. Duke's not that tall of a team. Kentucky will have some big guys. North Carolina will have some big guys. Michigan State is fierce and tough as can be, always crisp. Wild shot.
Rebounded by Norvell. By the way, Kispert, who hit that 3 on the last possession, he's the only player on Gonzaga who is from the Seattle area, and he was not recruited by Washington. As Hachimura is fouled, he'll go back to the line for 2 free throws.
He's from Edmonds, over by the Seattle area there. What a remarkable player. And you watch him, and he's just a splitting image of Dan Marley.
Really?
Tough, fierce, unassuming.
I like that comparison. Foul on Timmons is 3rd. And Hachimura at the free throw line.
So a year ago, Timmons was starting all the time. That progress that you hope to see in young guys growing up. But this guy, Kispert, I really like his game.
What's the next step for Hachimura, Bill?
Leadership.
Okay.
To take charge, because Kansas is going to keep improving. Duke is going to be better with that loss because they're going to be angrier, they're going to be hungrier, and they're going to be more realistic about all the noise that's surrounding them.
Dickerson with a beautiful catch, and he lays it in.
So I'm not sure why Brandon Clark would try to go around for a steal. Brandon Clark has owned Noah Dickerson in this game.
So is your point on Hachimura, who catches the ball deep and can't score with the left hand, is it about being more vocal?
No, it's on the court.
Okay.
It's a Kareem, it's a Magic, it's a Larry Bird, it's a Michael Jordan of, hey, look, we're the best team, and I'm the guy who's going to make us get over the top. I'm going to lead our guys to the top of the mountain, to the promised land, and I am coming to work every single day. And we're going to be hungry, we're going to be humble, we're going to show respect for everybody, but we're going to play like we expect to win. They have to live by the mantra. Talent gets you to the top, character keeps you there. It's not what you have done, but rather by what you could have or should have been able to do.
Gonzaga shooting just 38% from the field as Noel drives and puts it in, and it's a 10-point game with 5 minutes to go.
They're winning comfortably. And this student section has not sat down the entire time.
And they won't.
Really? I've never been here before.
I know.
Have you been to Jack and Dan's? We had lunch there today. Big Ed took perfect care of us. Great pump fake.
Kispert thought he was going to draw a foul, and now Washington with the chance to cut it to single figures. Norvell reaches in with the steal.
Space the floor here. You got shooters, you got a big man running the lane.
Hachimura to the left hand again. No.
Petrusev is excellent. Just getting started here. Serbia, Belgrade.
He went to prep school in Florida. He is a freshman at Gonzaga this season.
So he was like the best player in the European Under-18 championships this past summer. Their team won, and he was the best player by far. Kispert.
Diving on the floor, but couldn't save it. It will stay Washington ball.
Mark Few and Jack and Dan's, right? They're coming home 2 years ago when they won the Elite Eight down in San Jose, and they're flying home. And they're going to the Final Four for the first time. As the charter plane lands here in Spokane, Mark Few walks up and down the aisle of the plane, tapping everybody on the shoulder. Hey, we're going to Jack and Dan's. Go in the back door. We're in the back room. Here we go. What a time. What a celebration.
That was a great team. They lost in the national championship game. And you think about Hachimura's progress. He didn't even play in the Final Four that year, but he's a player now as he punctuates that play with a slam.
Throw it down, Rui. And the kennel has come alive here. Throw him some dog bones. Yeah, throw him some dog bones. Woof, woof. Spike, where are you? Break free of your chain, Spike. Throw it down, Rui.
Open is Green, and he drills a three.
That's a competitive response right there, and Mark Few said, I can't believe it. Come on, man, we got the crowd going in our favor, and we just break down defensively and allow a wide open three. That's unacceptable. We're not going to win the championship with that kind of lack of concentration, but this throwdown, yes, Rui, in your face. Japan, the land of the red sun rising.
Dave Pash, Bill Walton in Spokane, where Washington has made it a 9-point game after a three by Dominic Green going to commercial. Coming up, it's the E-Trade halftime report with Chris Cotter, Sean Farnham, and Dallin Cuff. Duke and Carolina both win big, and other top 25 highlights coming up.
You know how basketball and sports and everything has changed since the early 80s, when everything now is naming rights, sponsorships, endorsements? One of the greatest endorsement deals ever was back in 1941, 3 years before the last time Washington won here, when the U.S. government hired Woody Guthrie to come here to the inland Northwest and write promotional songs about how great life was here after they built Bonneville Dam, the Grand Coulee Dam. So it was a year-long deal that only lasted a month. In that month, Woody Guthrie wrote 26 songs, including Roll on Columbia, Grand Coulee Dam, and so many great ones. And Roll on Columbia has become the state song of this great state of Washington, and thank you, Governor Inslee.
In local news, Perkins misses a three, rebounded by Dominic Green. Washington with an opportunity to make it a 7 or 6 point game. Hachimura has 16 points, but the rest of the Zags have struggled offensively. Meanwhile, Washington is only 2 for 11 from three. They're struggling from the perimeter, but they're in the game. And then a foul on Norvell, his second, coming over the top, trying to strip Noel. It's the 16th foul on Gonzaga.
I can't figure you out. What's your name again? But you cannot be satisfied with a team winning. Why do you blast the other guys from Gonzaga?
What are you talking about?
They're winning. You said the other guys were not doing a thing out there. Rui had 16 points and the rest of the guys were stinking it up.
They're 4 for 13. They have a combined 15
winning.
Points.
You play to win. That's what Duke does. That's what Kansas does. That's what all the great teams do.
Thibault hits a three.
Beautiful shot. And Thibault plays like that, he can live up to the expectations. Thibault, incredible personal story. His mom died of cancer when he was 17. But just a remarkable human being and family. His dad named Matisse after the great French painter.
And he actually thought when Lorenzo Romar was let go and Mike Hopkins took the job, he actually looked around as Petrusev puts it in. Mike Hopkins did a great job selling Matisse Thibault on a family atmosphere because of Thibault losing his mom and being close to his family who live in Arizona. But Hop was able to keep him and all the other guys from transferring. Yeah.
Look, Mike Hopkins is going to get the job done. And what a golden opportunity for young players to go to the University of Washington in Seattle, the fastest growing big city in America over the last decade, and all the economic opportunities, so much of it generated by the University of Washington. What a remarkable school and city and state.
Petrusev puts it on the floor. What a drive by the 6'11" Philip Petrusev.
You could not knock Sam Timmons over if you drove an 18-wheeler into him. And here he is falling down trying to take a charge.
Would you like to see the flop warnings like we have in the NBA and eventually?
I would like to see the coaches stop teaching that.
I don't think they are teaching it, though. I don't think they are teaching it.
I think you're promoting it.
Chris misses a three. By talking about it, I'm not promoting it, and I don't think coaches spend any time at all in practice on flopping. Perkins gets it out to Kispert. He'll fire away. And the three. It's back to a 13-point lead just like that.
And the lack of offensive firepower for the Huskies really coming back to hurt them right now.
7-0 run by the Zags.
This crowd, my goodness. And they've been here for a long time.
Thibault, again, another three. He's found his stroke here in Spokane.
When I watch Matisse play, talk to him and hang with him, he reminds me of Scottie Pippen. He's not as tall as Scottie. Scottie was a full 6'7". Matisse, you know, all these guys from Washington have incredibly long arms, which Jake will love. I mean, that's his deal, his long arms.
Hachimura again shows the strength. as he got bumped by Timmons, but he finished through contact.
The hitch that Rui has on that jump hook is fabulous. You know, one of the great ones with the hitch, but Kareem was the greatest. Kevin McHale, phenomenal. Akeem Olajuwon. We talk about Stockton, that's a tough shot there.
He was fouled. Noel will go to the line with 2.3 seconds remaining in the half. A chance to make it a 10-point game, perhaps going into the locker room.
John Stockton, who went to high school at Gonzaga Prep, not affiliated with the college here. But John Stockton with the all-time assists and steals records. Akeem, he's up there in the all-time blocks and all-time steals. And for a center to be up in all-time steals, that is a phenomenal thing. And that's what Thibault does. Thibault blocks and he gets steals too. I mean, he's just a very talented guy all around. If he just knew how good he was.
Well, they said if he can become a better rebounder, he'll have a great shot to be a 3-and-D guy in the NBA, a la Andre Robertson of the Oklahoma City Thunder, as Noel gets both free throws. 2.3 seconds to go. Here's Perkins. But if it goes!
From South Hill and Manitou Park, Overlook Park, Wayne Tinkle's home, family home, John Stockton's family home, Barry. Yeah, what a place, Spokane, the children of the sun. Throw it down, Rui.
Gonzaga, led by Rui Hachimura's 18 points. Leads Washington 40-30. The Huskies trying for their first ever win on the road against a #1 ranked team.
Hey, Sean Farnham back in Bristol. Set it all straight for us. Please save us from ourselves.
E-Trade halftime report coming.
It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Gonzaga looking to go to 9-0. The #1 ranked Bulldogs with a 10-point lead over Washington as we get ready to start the second half back here at the Kennel, as the Hall of Famer Bill Walton is still in the student section here.
This is incredible. I mean, I've seen this before, but I've been there before. This is really, really cool. I want to come back here. What a game. Wow. Gonzaga is such a well-schooled organization, a machine, really. They just keep coming at you every single possession. They don't play it to win by one guy having a lucky play at the end. Every single possession, they're trying to gain that advantage, and that has been the story here tonight. Because while Washington has played okay, they don't have enough of their guys playing well. Matisse has to do a better job. Noel has to play better. And Noah Dickerson really didn't give him too much in there. But with Rui Hachimura, my gosh, what an incredible game. And what a fantastic crowd here. Look at this hat here.
Look at the highlights.
Oh, man, I got this hat here. Look at this.
I'll do it.
This is me.
Here's Hachimura inside, 18 points. And he went to the foul line 6 times, made all of his free throws, had 2 offensive rebounds. He played all 20 minutes. Bill, you see the left hand off the glass. Hit a jumper from about 15 feet. Hachimura, a junior from Japan.
You seem surprised that a guy plays the whole first half. This guy could play all day. He's a super stud. What do you think about my new hat? Is it me?
I'll read some of the important stats because I know you won't. The points off of turnovers, this is something Mike Hopkins talked to us before the game about. He says, we can't get beat in this area, but it's 11-1 Gonzaga. 8 turnovers by Washington leading to 11 points. Otherwise, maybe it's a tie game and the Huskies have the lead because Washington played pretty well defensively in the paint against Gonzaga.
When you have 30 points in a 20-minute half and you get 2 points for every made basket, that won't get us done.
But again, Bill, it's defense. Coming into tonight, Gonzaga leads the country on shooting percentage from 2-point range, right? 64%. Tonight, 45%. So it's not easy against that zone in the paint. Norvell picked up the foul as third.
I love Mike Hopkins' theory. Only give up mid-range jumpers. Defend the 3 and defend the basket area. Make him beat you by making all the mid-range jumpers. I mean, that's the D'Antoni theory of basketball. And if you've ever heard Dan D'Antoni talk about it from Marshall University, it'll just make your heart expand with love, happiness, joy, and rainbows. And right now, wow, Gonzaga has to just get going, get running, because this zone here, which changes the front line all the time, and with Thibault always moving to the ball, really causing trouble.
Great skip pass by Perkins. Kispert can't hit the three. The tip won't go either by Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark should learn to bring that down. Grab it, bring it down, take one drop step back, and then power to the basket for an N1. You don't need to tip everything in.
Only 4 points tonight for Brandon Clark. Comes in averaging 17 per game.
They're winning.
Thibault finds the open shooter, and it's a 5-point game after Wright drains a triple.
And Mike Hopkins' ability to breathe life into his team. Fantastic halftime preparation, adjustments, and now it's questioning here, this fan base, which has filled this arena, McCarthy, ever since they opened it back in, what, 2000, early 2000s?
2004, yeah, 210 straight sellouts.
6,000 seats every night. Beautiful pass.
How about Hachimura?
Beautiful.
Finds Kispert underneath.
And your theory as a front court player is to never receive the ball where you can't be a threat to do something. And that's the difference between what Rui is doing and what Sam Timmons was doing early in the first half. And he was standing basically at half court.
Here's Noel, who had a quiet first half. He's their leading scorer at 18 points per game. He misses there. Dickerson keeps it alive, though, getting the offensive rebound.
Competitive greatness. Be at your best when your best is needed. If you're going to win for the first time in 75 plus years, your best player better have a big game.
He did have 10 points, but hit a three late to get there as Thibault was fouled on the drive, and he will go to the line.
Joe, do you like the Matisse's art style and subject matter? You a big Matisse guy?
You talking about Thibault or?
No, the French guy, Henry. Henri. You know, he's dead now. He died when he was 84 years old. But this guy was a superstar and really one of the great artists of the 20th century.
He likes art as well. He loves photography. Matisse Thibault does.
So he's named after Matisse.
Yes, you mentioned that already. Yep.
Well,
it's a 5-point game again.
You're the king of mentioning things 100 times.
Norvell picked up his third foul.
What's your
so
name
he's on the
again?
bench.
Wait a second. What is this called?
Well, there was foul underneath, and it's on Wright. That's 4 on Hamir Wright.
It's the best I've ever seen Hamir Wright play. Now he's got to go to the bench.
He's got 4 fouls. He did start the game. 4th time he started this year.
Very athletic. A lot of skill. Just learning how to play at this level. Every time you step up. Speed, skill.
Nice shot by Timmons knocking away that alley-oop. And wait a second, that was off of Washington.
Mike and Steve are going to talk this over underneath the basket.
And they'll get it right. It's Gonzaga ball.
You have to be able to throw the lob against this zone. And the look away by Josh Perkins. I'm calling that off of
they actually
Gonzaga.
I think Steve Olson had it right initially, but he was trusting of his
traveling.
Well, they get the turnover anyway. So right now, Washington, where do you go here, Bill?
We used to call that the mascara call.
Why is that?
Makeup.
All right, so it's a 5-point game. Possession for Washington. Where are you going here if you're Mike Hopkins? He calls all the offensive plays.
Okay, spread the floor a little bit. Let Crisp try to create. Crisp hasn't had any impact on this game. And he's their vocal leader, their spiritual leader, tremendous player.
I like that. Get it inside. Dickerson fouled. He'll go to the line.
And an excellent play by Sam Timmons to get that ball to Noah Dickerson. If you can throw that pass on more of a line as opposed to an arc, much greater opportunity for success.
Hachimura with a second foul, 13 foul. And so Noah Dickerson, first team all Pac-12 a year ago, as a twin brother Jordan, who is 6 inches shorter than he is. Dickerson at the free throw line. Saturday on ESPN, college basketball doubleheader. Georgetown, Syracuse. Obviously was a great rivalry when both teams were in the Big East back in the day. And then Duke with Zion Williamson, Barrett, Radish and company taking on Yale at Cameron Indoor.
I'm going with Duke in that one. Duke's got a great program. I had the privilege of watching some of their games, watching their practice. Got to spend some time with Coach K, and that was just, I mean, what an honor, what a privilege. The 12 years that he spent as the head of the U.S. national team with Jerry Colangelo, and the stories that he told about what he learned from the players.
And now Greg Popovich in charge of USA basketball. Clark rising, can't get it the first time or the second time. And Crisp hustling on the floor. Washington ball down 3. Bible pulls up, can't tie the game.
Sam Timmins is everywhere. The pride of New Zealand. Get him the ball. He's calling for it.
We're tied after the 3 by Noel, 42 apiece.
The Conference of Champions shining brightly on a day that has been bleak and dark.
Perkins with the skip pass.
Eyeball everywhere.
Got the deflection but couldn't get possession.
How about the confidence that Mike Hopkins has given his team?
Timmons just picked up his 4th foul though.
And Hamir Wright's got 4 as well. So the front court, not a deep team here. But Noel able to stroke this. One of a ton of great players who coming out of that Seattle area. Jamal Crawford, Brandon Roy. They let the 2 guys get away going down to USC this year, Kevin Porter and Jerron Brooks. And the Zags can't even get the ball in bounds, please. How can you expect to win if you can't inbound the ball? That's just completely unacceptable. To burn a timeout to save possession. Oh my goodness gracious.
Or good defense by Washington.
Please save me from myself.
Washington on a 7-0 run. They've outscored Gonzaga 12-2 in the second half, thanks to the play of Jalen Noel.
Jalen had good numbers in the first half, but not much impact. That has not been the case here, as he has been spectacular. This Seattle native, Garfield High School, coached by his dad, Michael, who sadly passed away 4 years ago. Jalen Noel, he loves his music. He's a Motown guy, old school Motown, and he is got the rhythm right now. Thank you, Berry Gordy.
How about Washington with more free throws attempted in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half than they had the entire first half. So you saw that 3 by Noel, but they're also taking it to the rim.
And Gonzaga has stopped playing here, but out of the timeout, they come right in, and they're just leaving it short every single time. Sam Timmins knocking it out of there.
Oh, I thought Timmins touched it last. They're giving it to Washington, though, and I think we may have another correction. No, they're going to give it to Washington. It did look like Timmins touched it last.
Timmins is going to slap it out there. They can't get it the first time. He stays with it. Rui just can't find the rim. Brandon Clark has been leaving it short. That ball is tipped out of there. Hey, what was this point total for Gonzaga at the half?
Well, remember when I said it was a 12-2 run, so if you do the math, it's...
So they had 40 points.
And now they're down after another 3 by Noel. Back-to-back threes. He's got 16 points.
So they had 40 points at the half, and they've got 2 points here in the first 4 minutes plus.
15-2 run.
Oh, please. Come on, man. These Huskies have come to fight.
15-2 run to start the second half.
Roof.
Thibault picks up the foul, his first.
Somebody feed the dog. Somebody's got to win. We got Huskies. We got Bulldogs. Cortez is going to get very jealous as he sits in heaven watching this. But the day I had with Spike here, this has been a complete reversal of fortune and a shocking turn of events here at McCarthy.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Dave Pash, Bill Walton back in Spokane.
Up at the Manitou Gardens in the Conservancy there, it was a spectacular day all around the town. And inside the gardens there and all the plants that grow outside in San Diego, they've got now in the greenhouse right here. A lot of greenhouses here in the inland Northwest. A lot of things growing.
Meanwhile,
right now, what's growing is the confidence of the Washington Huskies.
They have a 3-point lead. They were down 10 at halftime.
So the way you beat that zone is to try to get the ball to the high post there to Rui or to Brandon Clark, but Thibault is just too good out in front.
Missed 3. Clark trying to get the offensive rebound. Does. Clark is just 1 of 7 from the floor as Thibault picks up his second foul and the 4th team foul on Washington. But Gonzaga, this is why we brought this up, or I did anyway, in the first half about Hachimura with 18 points. The next high score has 8. Your stars like Clark and Perkins, they're combined 2 for 12 for 7 points. You need scoring from other people right now.
What happens when you got the number 1 team and it's playing poorly? Generally a case of overconfidence, thinking that, okay, this team hasn't won here in 75 plus years. They're not going to win now. They're down 10, but they seem to have put it on cruise control. The Zags and the Huskies are coming out hungry as can be.
Washington beat Gonzaga in Seattle by 27 a year ago.
Well, Gonzaga has won 11 of the last 12 times these teams have played.
They are doing a great job finding the open shooters. Green missed that one, though. Gonzaga looking to run. Here's Perkins to the rim. Missed the layup, but batted out to Hachimura.
Make the first layup. Offensive foul here. A flop by Dickerson. Please call the medic. He looks like he's. Oh my gosh. Create a space in the mausoleum. I'm not sure that Noah's going to be able to get up.
For somebody that always tells me that I shouldn't be assuming that guys are healthy to come back from injuries, how do you know Dickerson's not really hurt? I mean, that's a pretty good shot he took there.
So when I do that to you tomorrow in the TSA line, you tell me.
Well, you and I are going at different times. We have different flights going to different places. I don't think you'll be there. Thibault misses inside. Rebounded by Hachimura.
Where are you going?
The ball at the floor. I'm not telling. Here's Perkins.
What are you afraid of? Please.
Deep three from Perkins. No good. Rebounded by Dickerson.
Best rebound of the night by any player in the game.
Noel will pop for 3. Too strong.
I love the way that Josh Perkins rebounds as a guard. He's got a lot of Walt Frazier to his game.
Excellent pass by Norvell. Petrusev puts it in and 1. Third foul on Dickerson.
You ever been to Belgrade?
No.
Beautiful city. Wow.
Philip Petrusev.
A lot of great basketball players coming out of that city. That's where Vlade and Peja and all those guys are from. And what Boris Stankovic did. I first went to that part of the country when it was all one country. You know, that part of the world, when it was Yugoslavia.
Yes.
48 years ago.
That basket by Petrusev ended a streak of 8 consecutive misses from the floor by Gonzaga. We're tied again at 45. And now a foul is called on Dickerson off the ball, his 4th.
So all 3 of the front court players for Mike Hopkins have 4 fouls here. We still got 14 minutes of action to go. We just have to see. I'm sorry. That is not a defense. You know, that's not a foul on Noah.
No, it's not. I agree. They're saying he stuck the leg out. That was what, I'm just telling you what Michael Greenstein, the official, said, but he did not. They missed that one, but Dickerson on the bench, so they're going to have to bring one of these guys back in that has 3 fouls, or 4 fouls rather. It'll be Hamir Wright who will come into the game.
You love to repeat things that just aren't true.
What do you mean?
How can you explain that as he stuck his leg out?
I didn't.
When he didn't stick his leg out.
No, I didn't say he did. Mike Greenstein, the official, did. That's why he made the call. Gonzaga with a chance to retake.
Beautiful.
Petrusev again.
Best pass of the college basketball season to date. Norvell, Simeon High School, Chicago.
Where will the answer come from for Washington now that Gonzaga's made a run and the crowd is back into it?
And the versatility of this Bulldog defense.
Noel in and out on the 3, batted out, and tracked down by Norvell.
Keep it moving if you're the Zags. Thibault's long arms.
Man, he gets so many deflections, Norvell, in the paint. Perkins penetrates, switches to the left hand. Hachimura with the stick back.
Too strong, too big, too good. Timeout, that's all Mike Hopkins can do right now. His entire front line decimated in foul trouble. Oh my gosh. And the people in Seattle are saying, who's reffing this game? But these folks, they sure like it at this end.
NBA Friday doubleheader starts with the Sixers and Pistons on ESPN, followed by the Bucks and Warriors. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry in Milwaukee. Curry had 42 points tonight. You can watch both games also on the ESPN app from anywhere.
Sixers are a real team.
Really good.
They got, and that guy they got, Jimmy Butler, wow. And the big guy, Joel Embiid, wow. And Ben Simmons, wow.
Who's the best team in the East? Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Toronto.
I have no idea.
Toronto has the best. Toronto has the best record in the NBA.
And then the Warriors, Bucks. That's going to be fantastic. How's the great Greek god doing?
Giannis Antetokounmpo, very well. MVP candidate.
Ahead of Steph Curry, ahead of Kevin Durant, ahead of LeBron James. Where are they in the standings?
7-0 run right now by
Beautiful.
Thibault.
Washington's playing.
Norvell for three.
Up and down action. And it's not just the student section that's celebrating here. The entire McCarthy Arena has risen as one here. Spectacular atmosphere. WCC basketball taking on the Conference of Champions. #1 in the country.
Wright. Nice move by Hamir Wright.
Well, Mike Hopkins has nothing left to do other than play 2 guys with 4 fouls. If you're the Zags, just keep driving it to the hoop.
Washington is 2-28 all-time against #1 teams. The last win coming in 2004 in Seattle against Stanford. Hachimura with a power move and a low block.
And the world knows that Timmons and Wright have 4 fouls. Just give it down low. The Ruri, they're just going to back off every time. It's to be a layup drill. Challenge for Washington is going to be to keep scoring. They've had a great run of late.
Hachimura with 22 points now to lead all scores.
Nice.
Thibault, and they're going to say a foul was committed on the floor. The 5th team foul by Gonzaga.
Here in the beautiful inland Northwest with 76 major lakes surrounding the Spokane Valley. All the way over to Coeur d'Alene, it's Rui Hachimura all the way from Japan, who has found the deepest and cleanest, bluest water.
Cancer is universal.
Life-changing.
Cancer is why I will never give up.
Cancer is something that's going to make me stronger. It doesn't define me.
I believe that they can come up with a cure. I think we're just this close.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for cancer research. And Bill, you mentioned the story about Matisse Thybulle in the first half, his mom passing away of cancer when he was 17 years old. When he decided to stay in Washington when Mike Hopkins got the job, Matisse and his father gave Coach Hopkins a montage of pictures of Matisse with his mother, and Coach Hopkins still has it on his desk. He said it brought him to tears as he was trying to make the pitch for Matisse to stay put.
This guy, Mike Hopkins, he's well into it. He's in his mid-40s, and he just got his first head coaching job. I mean, this is going to be a spectacular run in Seattle.
By the way, just to clarify, the reason they called that foul on Dickerson as Noel gets the basket is they said an excessive wide base. That the base was too wide outside the shoulders. And so that's why they called it on Dickerson, because you can't get around that.
Well, since we're right next to Idaho, wasn't it Larry Craig who had the wide stance?
Kispert with the entry pass, and Norvell finishes off glass. Back to a 5-point game.
The interior passing for the Zags is just spectacular. And it comes from everywhere. It's not just one guy. This is not a team of specialists. These are all excellent basketball players. The challenge for Gonzaga when they get up against the real big boys, great right-hand drive here. Somebody might want to tell Petrushev that that guy is right-handed, number 11, Naz Carter, who's a nephew of Jay-Z, right?
Petrushev with his 3rd foul, and it's the 16th foul on Gonzaga.
Well, I'm told that Jay-Z hasn't made any of the Husky games as a fan, but that the players go to the Jay-Z concerts.
Dickerson is back in with 4 fouls. Timmons, who also has 4 fouls, goes back to the bench.
What was the last concert you went to?
It's a 5-point lead for Gonzaga. Here's Crisp, and he drills a 3-pointer.
Best play for David Crisp of the night. All these seniors, this is a very experienced squad. What they haven't had experience with is ultimate success. This would be a remarkable upset if the Huskies are able to pull this off.
Again, 2 wins all time.
Oh my gosh.
Perkins from way out, just his second basket, but it's a big one. The answer to Crisp 3. Gonzaga does get back though, and Dickerson beats him down the court for 2.
David Crisp. Back-to-back brilliant plays. Okay, if you're Gonzaga, Noah Dickerson and Hamir Wright both have 4 fouls. Just drive to the hoop. Drive right at those guys. You're going to get a layup, or you're going to get to the free throw line.
Nice pass by Norvell. Petrusev in the lane. Spins out, and it's Washington ball.
Hamir Wright, undersized. Doesn't have the physical development yet. Just a youngster, second year. Was being recruited by Syracuse. But then when Hopkins came here, he said, I got a spot for you right now.
Norvell attacks, and they're going to call Wright for the foul.
Embarrassingly terrible. Let him play. Come on. You've got to know that you've already called some real cheap fouls. Their whole team's in foul trouble.
They get Hamir Wright.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's not a foul.
Well, he didn't go straight up, though, Bill. I mean,
it's not a foul. This is basketball. How about the other guy jumping into him? Norvell jumped in more than Hamir Wright did.
Well, no, he didn't. Just looking again, we only showed one replay, but just another monitor I got here to my left. I mean, Norvell was going to the basket. He did not lean or jump into the defender, and the defender did not go straight up.
That's not a foul.
So free throws now. That's the 7th foul in Washington, but it's a shooting foul anyway. Norvell 81% on the season. Zach Norvell, redshirt sophomore from Chicago, had 23 second-half points, and Gonzaga's win in its last game at Creighton.
They were down early at Creighton, and the crowd was going nuts over there. McDermott's still the coach at Creighton, correct?
One more free throw as Clark checks back in. He's had a off night shooting the ball.
They're winning. That's the goal. You guys who live by this deal that if you score points, you're playing well. No, if you win, you're playing well.
Not sure what the reason for the stoppage is here by Mike Greenstein. Talking to Mike Hopkins, Pac-12 Coach of the Year a year ago. Played at Mater Dei High School for Gary McKnight, who is a coaching legend in Southern California. His son Clay was an assistant for a while at Syracuse, and Mike Hopkins was on that staff.
But what a privilege for Mike Hopkins to have played as a young boy for Gary McKnight. Back in the era when basketball was just dominated by Southern California. John Wooden, Chick Hearn, and then to go from there straight to Syracuse at the time at the top.
Played with a lot of great players there. Garrett Coleman, Billy Owens,
Sherman Douglas.
How about Stevie Thompson Sr.?
Wow.
He's now coaching against Stevie Thompson Jr.'s at Oregon State. It was a substitution issue for Washington. That's why Mike Greenstein was having the conversation with Mike Hopkins, and they're having that same conversation again as to who can check in and when. Gonzaga, by the way, has not missed a free throw tonight. 13 of 13 and a 5-point lead over Washington. The Zags next up play Tennessee in Phoenix on Sunday. That'll be a matchup of top 10 teams.
Tennessee is very good. What Rick Barnes has done there, absolutely incredible.
The SEC is going to be really good this year.
Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama.
Noel with a baseline jumper. It's a 3-point game. How good do you think the Pac-12 is going to be? Who's the best team in the Pac-12 right now?
Yeah, I have to see how Oregon is going to respond to the news, which is not good out of Oregon.
Probation, 2 years probation for the athletic department.
Oh, they already announced the penalty?
Well, probation for the athletic department. That's all I saw. Nothing with regard to postseason bans or anything like that, but just probation for the athletic department, 2 years.
Oregon's got talent. UCLA has got a lot of players.
Chris misses this time. Backside board for Jeremy Jones. who originally attended Rice on a football scholarship.
What a story he is. Grew up in San Antonio, went over there, Jeremy Jones. He was fantastic, Jeremy Jones was in Maui.
Jones cutting baseline, gets the pass from Clark, and now sends it back out.
How come you don't go to Maui?
I got football. Nice lob, no look alley-oop there. Mini alley-oop by Perkins.
You're giving up Maui to watch football?
It's not my decision. Just going where I'm told.
You can always say no. Please, what a great elements of leadership. Josh Perkins down the lane, just laying it off, and Brandon Clark just too good. BC, yeah. The elements of success in a group dynamic. Gonzaga, the #1 team in the entire country. The WCC, honor, sacrifice, and discipline. They started the second half slow, but the interior passing. Rui throwing off to Petrosev. Beautiful. Best pass of the season right there. Fake the corner pass. Inside, all of these guys can deliver the pass, and most of them can finish down low. And when those passes start going down, that zone defense is going to have to extend to the guys who are having the ball on the perimeter, because you can't just leave a guy wide open to throw a pass. You've got to put pressure on the passer.
Hachimura with 22 points, right at his season average. He also has 7 rebounds tonight, 4 offensive rebounds, and how about Dickerson with the throwdown?
I didn't know he could do that. He is not the explosive above the rim player that we expect for so many of the stars of today. Rui's just so strong inside. He lowers his shoulder. He looks like Maurice Lucas getting post position.
One of your favorites.
Greatest teammate I ever had.
Shot
Great
clock.
hand, Thibault again. Matisse, paint a picture. Nice.
Noel, no good on the 3. But again, how about the deflection by Matisse Thybulle? He comes in 8th in the country in steals. He averages 3 steals per game. I wonder how many deflections per game he averages. Probably 7 or 8.
The way he gets his hands on the ball. I mean, he'll be guarding a passer and still deflect the guy who he's guarding the man.
Hachimura with the kick out. Nice. Good pass. Perkins for 3. His second 3 of this half.
Dump it inside, draw the defense. They're all in foul trouble. They've got to collapse to help Dickerson. Is Wright already gone? Hamir Wright's already gone.
Yeah, he fouled out. Perkins hit 1 shot in the first half. Another dunk by Dickerson as they continue to pound the paint on Gonzaga.
Okay, so how many shots has Dickerson made tonight that was not a layup or a dunk? So why are you trying to front him? Why are you trying to go for a steal? Play behind him and see what kind of shot he can make. Know your opponent.
Please.
This guy Norvell is excellent.
Perkins.
Again, interior passing.
Clark stripped. Noel with the steal. Gets it ahead to Crisp. And Crisp missed the layup. Had trouble getting his footing. Noel then called for a foul. That's only his first, but it is the 8th team foul. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Gonzaga.
Wow. In transition, the ball poked away. Here comes Noel up the court. David Crisp, 5 steps on his way to the basket. He knew he took steps, and I can't believe the referees didn't call it. That just broke his concentration. How about using the backboard on your layup? Roll on Columbia.
Zach Norvell at the line for a 1-and-1. And he gets the front end. Gonzaga.
Have you ever been here
still
to the
perfect at the free throw line?
Before?
Have I what?
Have you ever been here to the Inland Northwest before?
Yes.
This is fantastic here. The parks, the libraries, the schools, the architecture, the downtown.
How about the Davenport Hotel?
The historic. Wow. How about the fact that in Spokane, downtown Spokane, free Wi-Fi for everybody. No passwords. Why isn't the world like that?
By the way,
pretty soon they'll be charging us for the air we breathe.
I enjoyed the conversation you were having with the statue that was sitting on the bench at the Davenport Hotel. You didn't know I was there. You were talking to him for 5 minutes, and then
Lou Davenport.
That's not really him, though.
Who invented the crab Louis sandwich or salad? Sorry. Corey Kispert.
8-point game, 5.5 to go. Clark finds Kispert.
Right. Beautiful.
Kispert's three is there.
The ball movement. Nobody's trying to go one-on-one. Nobody's trying to over-dribble. Nobody's trying to build up stats to impress you. They're winning the game. And now time's running out for the Dogs.
There's 5 minutes left. We're only down 11. Here's Dickerson going baseline. Another power move. He can't get this one to go, though.
So Brandon Clark is just an absolute stud. He should just put his chest out there in front of Noah Dickerson, move his feet, and see what kind of jumper and moves he has. Really just so strong, so quick to the ball.
Couldn't get a handle on the rebound, though, so it's Washington ball.
What's your favorite Woody Guthrie song?
Can you give me multiple choice?
How about This Land Is Your Land? What's your favorite verse?
There you go, perfect. The first one.
No, the side where he goes out and he sees the no trespassing sign, looks on the other side of the sign, doesn't say anything. That side is made for you and me.
My favorite verse is Matisse Thybulle for 3 to make it an 8-point game with 4.5 to go. Thybulle has found his shooting stroke. He had not been shooting the ball well from three-point land coming into tonight.
This is as well as I've ever seen Matisse play. And the confidence that he's showing, the belief that he's really a good player. But one of the great things for the Huskies tonight, they have not allowed this game to get to be an up-and-down track meet.
And Hopkins said, look, we have to start shooting the ball better. We have to be assertive but smart with our shot attempts, not taking shots early in the shot clock when you can get a better shot making the next pass. And they're doing that tonight. It's been one of their better offensive games.
What a great meeting we had with Mike Hopkins today. That was just fantastic, particularly the stories he told about you as a college student. Oh my God, I didn't know you went to college.
I don't think those were for air as Noel misses. And a foul is called on Gonzaga. With 3:57 to go, it's an 8-point game here in Spokane.
Whether it's you in college at Syracuse or Neil Everett in high school here at Lewis and Clark, what a day.
Dave Pasch Hall of Famer Bill Walton back in Spokane. Gonzaga trailed early in the second half after leading by 10 at the break, but now back up 8 inside 4 minutes to go. Coming up on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. How about Paul George tonight? Great comeback as you look at the promo for Saturday, but great comeback for the Thunder tonight. Paul George
How do you
hit the game-winning shot because I read about the story.
Were you watching the other game on one of these 6 monitors?
The game was over before we came on the air.
Really?
Paul George hit a shot, which is his first field goal in a clutch situation in his career for the game winner.
How about Paul George staying in Oklahoma City?
A lot of people thought he'd go to L.A. And look at the Thunder. They have one of the best records in the NBA right now.
Did the Lakers offer him? And one of the great things about these two coaches and staffs here at Hopkins and Few is who they have as assistants. You got Tommy Lloyd over there for Mark Few. You got Donnie Daniels, who's excellent. And then you got on the Husky side, you got Dave Rice from UNLV. You got Cameron Dollar from UCLA and Seattle U.
Will Conroy, who was
Will Conroy,
player,
legend, and just a super dude, Will Conroy.
Dickerson gets the front end of the 1-and-1. Now these are 2 excellent coaching staffs.
Some of the best.
Noah Dickerson, senior from Atlanta, 1 more free throw.
Beautiful stroke. So when we were at practice here today, and Mark Few came on the court, it was very, very powerful and spiritual because he came over to me and he said, Bill, I just spent 2 hours watching President George W. Bush's funeral service. He said he was just so moved by all the different speeches and people trying to come together to make a better world. It was a very special time for me with Mark.
Kispert fouled on the drive. He'll shoot 2. You were talking about these coaching staffs. Mark Few and Mike Hopkins go way back because when Mike Hopkins was an assistant at Syracuse, Jim Boeheim is very involved in Coaches versus Cancer, as is Mark Few. And so Mark and Mike struck up a friendship, and Hopkins, when he took the job, sought counsel on recruiting in the Northwest from Mark Few. As Kispert gets the first free throw.
You mentioned Mark Few and the Grateful Dead early on in this program. That was today, correct?
That was today.
Okay.
That was in the first half.
You know what his dog's name is?
I don't.
Stella.
And what does that have to do with the Grateful Dead, dare I ask?
It's the name of one of the greatest songs ever. Stella Blue.
Missed that one. Gonzaga has not missed a free throw. 17 of 17 tonight.
That's not all you've missed.
Noel drives, floats it up and in, over the outstretched arm of Brandon Clark.
6 points here. Defensive stop. Mandatory right now. If you're Gonzaga, though, don't pull it out. Keep attacking. You're playing well. And Jeremy Jones, one of my favorite players. I'd love to see him get more time, but where's it going to come from? This incredibly deep front court for the Zags. Not so in the backcourt right now with the injury to Gino.
Offensive foul called on Brandon Clark.
Mark Few can't believe it. Tommy Lloyd is saying, what? Are you kidding?
That is the 18th foul on Gonzaga. Third on Clark.
Down the lane. Fake one way, go the other, and you're calling that an offensive foul, please.
That's a flop.
Flop?
Flop by Dickerson. Isn't that what you were saying?
Yes.
4 fouls on Clark. A correction, 4th foul on Brandon Clark.
It would have been a perfect no call. Just let him go. Jeremy Jones.
Noel attacks. Wild shot.
Brandon Clark, BC, from British Columbia. Now there's a harmonic convergence of the highest order.
Hachimura goes crashing into a defender, but a blocking foul is called here on Dickerson, and that is his 5th. So that's the 2nd Washington player to foul out of this game. And it's only a 6-point game with 2:46 to go.
Washington's right there. But who for Washington is playing well enough to lead a comeback, not only against the crowd, but against the refs and against the great players that Mark Few has at his disposal?
Noel is the leading scorer for Washington with 22. Hachimura has 22 for Gonzaga. Dickerson with 13 points, 7 rebounds. And now Hachimura at the free throw line. Again, Gonzaga has not missed tonight. 17 of 17 at the line.
With so much of the bad news that is plaguing college athletics today, how about the fact that here at Gonzaga, Mark Few and Mike Roth, 100% graduation rate at the top of the entire nation. Congratulations and thank you, Mark Few, Gonzaga, and Mike Roth, athletic director for 22 years.
Gonzaga's 19 of 19 as Hachimura gets 2 more free throws. 67% foul shooter on the season, but he is 7, or make that 8 of 8 tonight at the line.
Desperation time here for the Huskies.
Crisp drives, and what a finish by Crisp as he stumbled into the lane.
Somebody might want to tell the Zags that David Crisp is left-handed and promises to be so for the remainder of this game. Josh Perkins cannot give up his dribble like that. And then the defenders just wisely back off.
Hachimura gets deep.
Great defense.
Clark with the putback off the Hachimura miss. It's a big basket there by the Zags.
And that's where the foul trouble comes into play for Mike Hopkins. Sure. You got Timmons playing well, force him to miss, but nobody on the weak side to rebound. They just don't have enough depth in the front court.
Noel lobs for Timmons.
Great play.
Did a good job to seal the defender and make the catch and put it in.
That is a big, strong dude in Sam Timmons. Did you ever run into him? Did you ever see him be the blocking dummy in practice? Oh my gosh. You ever see him fall down? You feel sorry for the floor.
90 seconds to go. Perkins with a pass. Hachimura miss. No. And again, it's Clark on the glass. Rebound, though, by Noel. 6-point game.
Brandon Clark. He'll be happy when this one's over. How many layups has he missed? He's such a good player, such a good dude.
Noel gets it to go. 4-point game just outside a minute to go, and Washington will use its final timeout.
You're playing well. Why call a timeout? Why give the other team a chance to regroup?
Well, they said it was, they signaled toward the Washington bench, but they took the timeout off the board for Gonzaga.
A great play.
It was on Washington, so Washington's out of timeouts.
A great play by Jalen Noel. You're down the lane, theory of how you're going to score. This is what you need to have that one guy. That was Michael Jordan. That's why they won all those championships. When they needed a bucket, he could do that and will. Foul trouble here. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Righty Dickerson gone, Timmons with 4. As you've watched Gonzaga tonight, you still feel like they're the best team in the country? Because you're going to have nights like this. Washington is a good team, a team that was on the cusp of making the tournament a year ago.
They have not played their best, but they're an excellent team. Are they as good as Kansas? Are they as good as Duke? They've already beaten Duke, so, but Kansas is real good. How are they going to do when they play against somebody who's really good? Washington is a team on the rise. It's a program that was down at the end of Lorenzo Romar's career. Now they're coming up. But this has not been one of the moments where the Zags will sit back and say, man, were we great tonight. And the challenge when you're number one is to be great every night. You want to be the champ. You have to be able to deliver peak performance on command. And while they played hard tonight, they have not been effective in terms of delivering in the basket area.
In fairness, you're playing against something you don't see and haven't seen all year. A 2-3 zone that's very good.
It's not like they didn't know they were going to play zone before the game.
But it's hard to simulate, especially with the length that, Thibault on the perimeter at the top of that 2-3 zone.
Okay, but Josh Perkins has not had a real strong game.
No, he has not.
And Brandon Clark has not had a real strong game. Norvell has not been magnificent.
Yet they're still up 4 inside a minute to go.
But they're pulling the ball back out. You're the number one team having to hold a lead of 4 in the closing moments.
Shot clock at 7. Perkins. Now the timer at 4. Perkins drives, falling away.
Sam Timmons everywhere. Push the ball. You got a guy in transition.
It's Thibault for the slam, and it's a 2-point game.
75 plus years since the Huskies have won here. I was in Maui when Gonzaga beat Duke. Will it happen tonight? Will Washington finally be able to win here in Spokane?
Another deflection by Thibault. Gonzaga keeps.
Sam Timmons is everywhere.
Rebound by Green. Washington out of timeouts. Down 2.
Shoot
10
a 3
seconds
for
to
the
go.
win.
Noel is fouled.
Oh my gosh!
And will go to the line. The 19 foul on Gonzaga, and Jalen Noel, only a 68% free throw shooter, will get 2 free throws here to try and tie the game.
Yeah, but this guy's a big time player. I mean, he's got the scorer's mentality. He's got this perfect chiseled body. Just a young guy, 19 years old.
Norvell fouled out too, Bill. That's big on Gonzaga that Norvell is out if this game were to go to overtime.
Right, but they can bring in Jeremy Jones and play a 1-4. This crowd, whoa. They have been doing this for like 2 hours before the game, all during the game, and they're trying to ice Jalen Noel.
You were saying shoot a 3. Why do you think they needed to take a 3 in that situation?
To go for the victory.
Right, but you got them in transition,
Go for the victory. You don't play to go to overtime when you're on the road.
But don't you take the best shot possible? Isn't that what Noel did there?
Yeah. Drive in. So they're going to milk this crowd here. Mark Few is with the timeout.
That'll leave Gonzaga with 1. Washington is out of timeouts. 9.4 seconds to go.
You don't win in the biggest of moments unless you're willing to risk it all. And if you accept the fact that risk and failure and loss is all part of every opportunity in your life, you're just not going to have a chance. You can't play it safe in these moments. Go for the 3 and the win at the buzzer. Run out of here, and hopefully they don't set your bus on fire on the way home.
Washington has 2 wins lifetime against number 1 teams. 2004 against Stanford, 1979 against UCLA. Both of those games were in Seattle. They've never defeated a top-ranked team on the road.
Well, how many teams have?
And Gonzaga at 8-0 has Tennessee up next in Phoenix on Sunday, trying to overcome subpar performances offensively from Perkins, Norvell, and Clark. Jalen Noel a chance to tie the game at the free throw line.
So they went away from Rui on all those great duck-in moves. And Petrosev, who was playing very well, did not get a lot of opportunities down the stretch here. And with Sam Timmons finding a game, and with Thibault, Matisse, painting a masterpiece out there. David Christnet, left-handed runner, and now Noel right here at the line. And this crowd is going to do everything they can to scramble his brainwaves.
2 for 2 tonight.
If you're a champion, this is what you live for. Bring it on. Let's go.
He gets the bounce on the first one. Sophomore from Seattle, Washington's leading scorer. Runner-up to DeAndre Ayton for the freshman of the year in the Pac-12 last year. One more free throw to tie the game with 9.4 remaining. Gonzaga has a timeout. He gets them both. Gonzaga will not call the timeout.
Push the ball.
Now.
Get to the hoop. Get an open shot. Don't try to shoot off your own dribble. You're wasting too much time there, Josh Perkins.
Hachimura with 2. Gets the shot away. It's gone with 0.6 of a second left. Gonzaga by 2. 0.6 of a second remaining.
They're calling something here. They're calling.
They may go to the monitor to see if they should add time.
Or if Rui or somebody hit the ball and kept Washington from inbounding the ball.
I don't think so. It's just the time here.
Okay, well, we're trying to predict what these guys will do.
Yeah, 0.6. Hachimura with 26 points. Over Timmons, not easy at 6'11". Timmons got the hand in the face and Hachimura still hit it.
That's what a champion does. Bring it my way. I've got this. He turns to his right shoulder and in the face of a bigger, stronger defender. Timmons is playing spectacular in the second half here, and this crowd is loving it. Okay, now, if you're Gonzaga, you got to pressure the ball. Now, you can run the baseline here, right?
Yes.
Off a made basket.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so how about a screen? A screen, some action, throw the ball up the court. I would have Jalen Noel receiving here. Thibault should be throwing this pass here. Jalen Noel's your best scorer.
Timmons sets the screen.
And he's taking the ball out of bounds.
The shot away from half court is no good by Green, and the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, stays undefeated thanks to Rui Hachimura.
Wow, what a day. The inland Northwest, the children of the sun, shine powerfully and mightily here on a beautiful winter night. Shine on.
26 points for Rui Hachimura, a National Player of the Year candidate and one of the most improved players over the last 2 years in college basketball. 2 years ago, he barely played. He didn't even get any action in the Final Four, and now he's Gonzaga's best player on another Final Four contender.
It was a spectacular performance for Rui, and every time they kept going to him, Gonzaga was in control. If they went in other directions, the team kind of fell apart. Great night of basketball, spectacular for the WCC. They win again. Washington on the rise. Congratulations to the Huskies. Travel safely home. Wow, the #1 Gonzaga Bulldogs. Rawr, roaring Spike. Thank you for my life here in the inland Northwest. Woody Guthrie, roll on Columbia.